Kunal, hi, afternoon. Firstly, your take on the markets and the way we are bleeding today.
Yeah, I think we are at a very critical stage for the indices, and it's very important to try and take note of how the technicals are placed for both the indices Nifty as well as for the Bank Nifty. So we look at the very important charts over the last 2 years for both these indices. This is the charts for Nifty 50 over the span of the last 2 years from 2023 specifically. When this major trend line, as you can see that for the index, we've managed to protect ourselves over the last 2 years or so. Every time there has been a correction closer to this trend line, we've found major support for the Nifty, and we've seen major bounce backs or turnaround for the indices in the historical context over the last 2 years. This is a very recent chart for the index, and we are still trying to safeguard. So the 23,200 levels, which we hit in the month of October and November, that was a point where we retested exactly that trend line support for the index. And again, we are now trying to just about retest the major support levels over here. So which means that we are at a very critical stage or at an edge for the index in terms of the long-term trend for the index, which we've been riding over the last 2 years. If we break below this level, the support for the index is at 23,500 levels on the spot basis, which means if on weekly closing we close below 23,500 mark, we could be looking at a major breach of this 2-year, 2.5-odd-year-old trend line for the index. Now the interesting part is what's happening to the Bank Nifty, because after after a span of almost 2 years, we've seen for the first time Bank Nifty breaking below its 200-day moving average. And again over here, the trend line support for the Bank Nifty is very important and critical. Over the last 3 months, broadly, we've been into this 3,000 to 4,000 point range for the Bank Nifty, which means from the month of June, July 2024, we were stuck into a range of 49,500 as a support and 54,000 as a resistance broadly. Now we are again at a cusp of a major retest of this major support for both these indices, which means over the next couple of days, if there is a follow-through downtick for the indices, even by a margin of 0.5% to 1%, I think we could be challenging as well as breaking this major trendline support for the last 2.5 odd years.